So you fail not because you're lazy, but because deep down you think you're going to live forever. Right? Memento Mori, remember that one day you will die. I see a semi truck coming, just coming honking, and I'm spinning and I'm spinning and I'm spinning and I'm like, okay, I am dead. I was like, I'm dead. Okay. And at that moment, people say like, oh, your life flashes before your eyes. It wasn't that. I never ever told anybody this, but I had this download. Like there was like a loud ringing voice. And I was like in this empty space. And it said, see, you could have done so much more. So I was finishing pharmacy school and I started to really get into reading. I never really liked to read. I started reading finance, manifestation, mindset type stuff. And I was like, whoa, I can really do my own thing and make just as much, if not 10 times more money than if being a doctor, just by focusing all my energy on positive outcomes and focusing on myself and working just as hard as I'm working for these companies and these doctors and hospitals. I could work just as hard on myself and make 10x that money. And I started to learn that. And this is really a story I never ever told anybody, but I worked really hard and I had my own Camaro and I was driving and I was in the rain and it was a really, really rainy day, cats and dogs. I'm on the highway, on a mountain in Virginia, by the way. So I'm on a mountain in Virginia driving my Camaro and I hydroplane. I start spinning, right? And I see a semi truck coming, just coming honking, and I'm spinning and I'm spinning and I'm spinning and I'm like, okay, I am dead. I was like, I'm dead. Okay. And at that moment, people say like, oh, your life flashes before your eyes. And for me, it wasn't that. I never ever told anybody this, but I had this download and it was like, it like there was like a loud ringing voice. And I was like in this empty space and it said, see, you could have done so much more. You could have done so much more. And it was at that point that one of the wealthy pharmacists that I work with, it was at that point that I remembered a quote that he said. And that quote is Memento Mori. Memento Mori. Remember that one day you must die. Okay. And then after that whole series of events, it literally changed my life because I was like, well, was I going to lollygag through life all the time? Okay. Was I going to continue to take it for granted, act like I'm immortal? And I got it tattooed. That's like one of my favorite tattoos is right here, Memento Mori. Right, Memento Mori. So this is literally one of the reasons why you are failing. You think you're immortal, right? But Memento Mori, remember that you will one day die. You fail not because you're lazy, but because deep down you think you're going to live forever, right? Memento Mori, remember that one day you will die. And Marcus Aurelius said that you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Okay? This isn't about fear. It's about clarity. It's about power. Okay? When you understand that death is real, your excuses lose power. Okay? We delay, we scroll, we say next week. Okay? But Seneca says, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. We delay dreams, goals, love, because we'll do it later, right? We'll do it later. And Steve Jobs said, remembering that you are going to die is the best way, I know, to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. So I want to challenge you guys. What are you doing? What are you avoiding, actually? What are you avoiding right now that your future self will beg you to have started? Will beg you. Okay? Everyone wants to be remembered. Everyone wants to leave behind proof that they lived, right? Don't explain your philosophy. Okay? Embody it. Embody your philosophy. And a lot of people are always looking to see and trying to figure out, hey, what happens after death? What happens after death? What happens after you die? And we're not supposed to know that, because we're supposed to understand that we're supposed to be focused on living. Okay? What you focus on is what you're going to get. Where your attention goes, energy flows. We're not supposed to know what happens after you die, because you're supposed to be focusing on living. Okay? Legacy isn't built in grand moments. It's built in what you do today. Okay? And that's why I suggest, hey, journal, create, build, help others. Choose purpose over pleasure. And it's okay to go out and eat and drink and turn up with your friends every once in a while. But understand that in those moments, what are you doing? You're celebrating life, but you need to get back on track, because there is greater purpose in this life than turning up on a Tuesday, drinking alcohol, smoking marijuana, doing lines of cocaine. Okay, there's so much more. You get 4,000 weeks in life. Okay, if you're 30, you spent 1,560 of those weeks already. Okay, you're halfway through. So how many of those did you actually live? Mahatma Gandhi said, live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. So you want to be learning and growing on a day-to-day basis. I always say that that's the sole purpose of life, is love, energy, growth. We're here to love yourself and love others. We're here to learn how to manipulate energy. And then we're here to grow in the process using the latter, or the former. Okay. You're not immortal, okay, and you never were. That's the greatest truth. That's the greatest gift, honestly. Okay. But understand, Memento Mori. Don't fear death, okay? Don't fear it. Fear a life unlived. We don't know what happens when you die, because you're supposed to be focusing on the now. And this is my final say for you guys. My final thing for you guys is, if this woke you up, subscribe and start living like you only get one shot. Because Memento Mori, you do. Good morning, welcome to the Fit to Flourish podcast. Let's talk wellness, finance, and growth.